and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Good evening, everybody. This is Sisi Harry, and you are listening to BIB Radio. Thank you for joining us today. It is November 17th, 2017. Wow, November is almost over. Can you believe it? Well, we've had a lot going on this past couple of weeks with the election and just everybody in their feelings about Donald Trump and all that stuff. But business is still going for us as usual. I hope you all are still finding ways to profit in your businesses. I know we are. Do I have my co-host on the line, Robert Elevenx Minor?
If you can hear me, I am on the line. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you?
Man, today is another glorious, wonderful day on my calendar that I can check and say today was a good day.
All right. Well, that's good. I can say the same. Although my undue anxiety about trying to log on to the radio program kind of made me put into not a frenzy. I'm like messaging Scotty back and forth because we have a new platform, and I don't know, sometimes I'm not good with change because things are just kind of set in my mind a certain way. So here I'm still trying to log on to the old program, although I know we're not using it. I knew I still needed to log on to this thing, but for some reason I was like, well, I still have to control the board, so I need to log on to that too. As a matter of fact, I think I did that last week or something. I'm not sure. But, yeah, so I'm messaging Scotty back and forth, and he's like, oh, my gosh, this girl is crazy. He didn't say that, but I know he's thinking, what in the world? So, nevertheless, we are here on our new conferencing platform, still trying to figure out exactly how we control everything as we did before. But, I mean, that's an off-the-air conversation completely. Yeah, so that was a struggle just a second ago. But I'm good. Business is good. So, Robert, what have you got going on here lately? You're always doing something.
Right. Well, we always have to be doing something. And, again, going back to working with our young people and talking to our young people, had a very, very good conversation this evening with a couple of young people. And something hit my mind that I needed to share with them in reference. It goes back to church, how we always heard about the word. And, you know, message from the pastor for me. This is how I took that, how I see this. When I heard the term, the word, I never quite understood exactly what that was. It was, for me, I guess it was something magnificent and mighty and powerful that God voice spoke to mankind or man. And but you know, one day I realized what the word really is. And I just shared with some brothers this evening. I said, brother, your life absent of knowledge is like living in hell. Because if you have no knowledge, then you have no know-how to do anything for self. I say now, let's go back to church. What is the word? And they spoke, they both was like, that's the God, woo. I said, I thought like that at one time. But one time, it literally hit me after I have to say it the way it was, after I heard a lecture by Minister Farrakhan, it hit me that the word is a group of words combined that make a sentence or a paragraph powerful enough to spark change in your mind. And then the manifestation of that word is produced in your action. And so we were talking about that tonight as it pertained to business. And I said, if you don't have the word, then you won't have anything to do anything with. You have to have the word or words combined that spark a change in your mind. Words are very powerful. Words hurt worse than a physical punch, because once a person speaks it into your ear, it's hard to shake that voice, that sound, that vibration of that person's tonsils and tongue and palate speaking that word, and that emotion, that energy that comes behind it. It always stays with you. So if you don't get the word of the day, I listened to the young brother in the morning. I want to give him a shout out, Cortez Springer. He gives me the word economically early in the morning. And those words combined in his almost an hour-long conversation with his listening audience sparks something in your mind for those who listen and for those who are walking down the entrepreneurial path that make you want to get up and do something. And that is my impression of, or how I see the term, the word of God. And so this was a conversation, again, that we had tonight that was really, really inspiring, because I was talking to some young 19, 20-year-old people, and the young brother was like, man, I never really looked at it like that. And he said, but it makes so much sense. I said, yeah, all of this, what we call religion, has to be able to be made sense of, and then in a very practical way applied. And I said, now, if you take these words that I can give to you and you apply it, put some energy and action behind it, it can literally change your life in an instant in time. So that's what I'm inspired for today. That really inspired me. That really made my day. I mean, it just feels good to be able to talk to young people and see their mind working and see their thought. I mean, you can literally see it. I mean, just looking at this guy, I can see him thinking. And just to be able to be someone that can trigger thought, that's a powerful thing. And that's a thing that we as leaders in our community, and those voices on radio, those people on television, we have a responsibility to our people to at least make it where when we speak to them, where it can really be used in a very practical way to change their life. Because like I told the little brother, if I could go start talking these big words, which I don't, and then most people are impressed with someone who speaks these big words, but usually they never understand what the hell this person is saying. It goes right over their head. I say when I do business and I do business with people like that, I'm very skeptical, and I literally tell them, you're going to have to break that down, brother, because when you start talking like that, I don't trust you in business. It's just like when you start bringing God into business. God's going to bless you, or Jesus is going to bless you. I don't trust you. So I'm a little bit fired up, as you can tell. It's just been a very, very good last week since the last time we got on the show. I'm just always inspired. I tell people I never have a bad day. I just don't have bad days. Once I learned that all my days are blessed, that I can open my eyes. Today has just been another blessed day, making money, being a blessing to somebody else. My children were out there, old friends coming by the market and hugging me, telling me, hey, man, I'm so proud of you, man. I seen your struggle 25 years ago. So this is it just really, really is a good thing to know that, people are watching, people are learning, and your life has purpose. I'm telling you, everybody that's listening, your life has purpose. And if you don't know what it is, pray to that God to help you find what your purpose is and be found doing it once you find out what it is. So this is Brother Robbie, the Elevenx, and my thing is to just inspire you to reach higher, aim higher, go for more than what you have been told that you can have in this life. I mean, hey, it's out there to achieve. Let nothing stop you. I mean, no matter when people copy you or when people try to shoot you down, let that be fuel for you to keep going up. But don't let none of that affect your growth. You stay focused. Put your blinders on so where you can just see the goal line and run your ass as fast as you can. But make sure you're working out, sharpening your mental, and making sure your mathematics is right, and keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Sacrifice over and over and over again. Discipline over and over and over again until you reach where you know you want to be, and then start it all over again with a whole nother new something. Have that other thing still in play, and you don't have to be there. Now you're just going to invest, and then just start something new. This life is a beautiful thing to live, and I tell you, just live it. I don't care what you don't have. Don't worry about what the next man have. Just do what you know and keep striving to learn more, to do more. That's all. I'm gonna cut it right there because, man, I feel good today.
I hope so, because I haven't even gotten to say what we're talking about or anything. What are you doing?
I feel so good.
Okay. I get it.
It's just a beautiful day.
I didn't want to stop you, but I'm like, okay.
I'm glad you did, because I was going to go on, Sisi.
Yeah. I could probably mute you some kind of way, but I won't do that. But anyway, very inspirational. I'm glad that you got to speak with the younger people, because it definitely is needed. And I was, as I was preparing myself for the show, I was actually thinking myself about the young people, because their parents or the people ahead of them are either way too busy to engage with them and consider them not that important, or they just don't pay attention to them at all because they're so caught up in their own lives. These days we see people who are grandmothers at 37 years old and younger. So when you see that kind of thing going on, the youth kind of doesn't have a choice except to kind of fall by the wayside. So it is definitely important that we continue to have these conversations about the youth throughout our programs. But what I'd like to do right now is kind of segue backwards a little bit so we can talk about what we're going to talk about today. So our header says, taking steps to preserving your business roundtable. So it's you and me around the table because nobody else is at the table today. I think there's somebody else on the call, but nevertheless, so join us Thursday, November 17th, which is today, as Robert Elevenx Minor and Sisi Harry discuss preserving your business and getting it ready for hard times. Are you prepared for tough times? And, I made that flyer because I was thinking about, like, what we're doing right now. And I don't really consider it hard times. Now, we have a setup where we are, and it's a very good setup. But just like we talked about before, when you don't own it, you don't control it. Therefore, if something catastrophic happens, you're SOL, basically. So I think that we always have to have the mindset of what steps should I be taking toward ownership in whatever that you're in, whatever type of thing. You should be going toward the next level of owning it. And there's always a next level of owning it. That's what I really feel. There's always a next level of owning it. If you're operating out of someone's leased building, you're paying a lease every month, how can you own this building? A lot of people are very comfortable paying rent or leasing something when in all actuality, they should be owning it. Because if somebody decides that they don't want to renew your lease for whatever reason, or something happens and your lease is no good, because we know that we live in a system where other people control things, and you may have a contract, but you can still go to court and for whatever reason lose. We would like to think that the justice system is on our side at times, but we know that is not necessarily true. So if you're in a building and the people decide that they don't want to lease to you anymore, and you've been there for 8 to 10 years, and all your customers know that you're right there, what is that going to do to your business? Yes, you can inform everybody on social media and all this other stuff, but that's quite the hit if you have to suddenly move out of a building because it's not yours. So with that being said, I really believe that we should always be taking the next steps to ownership. What do you think about that?
Well, I just want to say before I comment on that we're going live. I'm going to go to live stream on Facebook. This is BIB Radio. Me and Sisi Harry on BTR Network. With our every Thursday at 7 o'clock, we have the BIB Radio. And in reference to your question, you have to own it. I mean, we have good locations at the flea market, and we're making good money there, no doubt about it. But when you're renting something, there's no guarantee, what the outcome of that would be versus when you own it. When you own it, you know what the outcome can be. And just by controlling those odds, then you always win. And that's why I suggest to most business owners that it's better to look for properties that serve more than one purpose. The two purposes that I look for in the property that I buy is to have a residential area as well as a retail area. I need the commercial area because I'm an entrepreneur, and all entrepreneurs need some place that they could, have their business in, as well as when you cut your overhead, you got to think about overhead. So when you have the building that you can have your residential in, that's going to also cut your costs as well. So most oftentimes, people that go into business usually have the space that they rent, house that they rent. So now you got $600 over here, $600 over there, and that's going to kill you eventually. If you don't have high traffic at your place of business, then meeting those obligations bill-wise is going to kill you. You know, commercial gas and commercial electricity is no joke to try to play. And if you got a building like I got, 2,500 square feet, paying a gas bill in the wintertime, and there's no efficient windows in there, then that's going to eat up a lot of your profit. So, but if you're living in this one building and you got your residential and your commercial there, then you only have one bill to pay as far as your mortgage is concerned. You're getting two bangs for the price of one. So you got to own it more so than rent it. So we're about to open up the business here at the location that we live on Broadway, 8033 North Broadway. I've been owning this building for a year, and today was our first day actually getting over here with the intention of opening up the business. Why? Why did we do it today? Because of what you just said about owning and being able to control the environment that you retail out of. I can control this environment. I can't control what another man, how he's going to wake up in the morning or what he's going to feel about me that day. And I don't like to be restrained on my thought pattern nor how I feel or what I want to say. So I feel like this. Understanding what I'm saying, I must have my own, because I'm not going to bite my tongue for nobody, and other people may be in their emotions more so than myself. So if I own it, I ain't got to deal with that. And people say, well, what about location? Well, you are the best product that you have to offer the people. Your personality is going to sell your good product. Now, of course, get a good product, a good quality product, no doubt about that. But more than anything else, your character, what you stand for, your integrity, your honesty, that's what you selling to the people. When you say this is good, then that person that believes in you will just take the product based off your word, use it, and come back and pretty much say, man, that was a good product. If you can't build a business, no matter where your location is, off of that, then you really got some brushing up to do on some personal things. And that's how I've been able the last 22 years in business. I didn't take a part-time job. 22 years I've been doing it. So owning the real estate is the one thing that has saved me when the times got hard. Owning the property is what saved me when I had my grandmother and my 3 children at my home as a single father, taking care of that responsibility. If I didn't own the property and had to be paying someone else for my storefront and someone else for my apartment, I don't know where I would be right now. I mean, real talk. I would probably have to take a job, or worst case scenario, I would have probably shot my boss or something like that.
Brother Robert.
I just can't be working for anybody. So, yes, you are absolutely right, Sisi. We have to buy up as much property, especially entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur should own a commercial building, no doubt about it.
Well, hold on. Scotty's trying to say something to you. Now, are we Facebook Live right now or what?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Robert, I was going to say stay in the location you're at, because we were getting feedback earlier. So whatever location you're at, you're coming in loud and clear. Stay there, because when you were moving around, we were getting that feedback off of Facebook Live. But I also just wanted to say, sitting here listening to you talk about owning real estate versus renting, and we're talking about businesses because this is Blacks in Business Radio. But I hope that Black Talk Media Project, as it continues to grow and looks to expand physically into the communities that we broadcast to, that we certainly can call on you as a consultant. And I understand if we had to pay a fee to help us acquire those properties as opposed to leasing properties for a studio.
You know, Scotty, right now, I don't even want to charge a person to help them to help them become property owners. That's not the reward that I'm seeking. And trust me, I'm a businessman, but before I even go there, I want to get at least 20 people on my personal resume, if I may say that I can say that I assisted in buying property, and maybe consider after that doing it as a business. But until then, I just need to get 20 people. The same way the brother taught me how to come into real estate, he didn't charge me anything. He didn't ask me for anything. When I talk to him on a daily basis and I share with him what I'm doing, he say, man, that's the reward that I'm looking for. When you call me and say that your son is working with you, your baby girl is now working with you. You gave your daughter her first apartment and your son her first apartment when they were 12 years old. That's the reward that he said that was reward enough for him. It's the same way for me. I just want to be a servant that can help people go to the next level, because there are so many people out there that just want the money, and really they give you a package. If they don't walk you through it, then you really just you can't get the experience on your own the way it properly should be given to you just reading it. Somebody needs to actually walk you through. That brother walked me through the process, and there was a major difference. And there were some things about the process that he said to me, man, you just the same way you sell those clothes, do the same thing to close this deal. Now, that baffled me, but then I just let nature kick in, and I went and spread the money across the table at the closing, at the title company, and showed the man the money, and I said, well, I'm $800 short. I can give you $400 next week and the week after that. And he said, you got a deal. I went back and told my mentor what I did. He said, that's what I was talking about. And you know, so I'm willing to help whoever is listening and whoever needs my help or think that I could be of any use to them. I've been saying this for over 20 years. I'm willing. I don't even want your money. I'd rather see you and your family happy. That's reward enough for me.
Right, I understand that, Brother Robert, and we still getting a little feedback, not as much as before, but just a little feedback. It's that echoey sound because of the placements of the different mics and broadcasting. But that's, shout out to the Facebook listeners right now that's tuned in to BIB radio. But what I'm talking about, what I'm envisioning down the road is for our organization, not for me as an individual. And so this may mean, Robert, I need to have somebody I could trust and call on, not somebody that worked for me, but somebody who is knowledgeable in real estate, can do real estate deals. And then I'll be like, Brother Robert, we trying to get this property in Chicago, or we're trying to get this property in Detroit, or we're trying to get this property in Miami for a studio to broadcast to that city and launch a platform for duplicating Black Talk Radio. So we need you to fly down to wherever and make that happen, do that transaction. Robert, you had to be paid for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, of course, you're so right about that, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. And then, like I said, I got a great partner and longtime friend on my side. And all I got to do is say, hey, man, I need some advice on if it's a deal that I may not have all the knowledge of. My partner in Vegas, for sure, we can make it happen. You know, and he don't mind working with me. Matter of fact, his challenge to me was to sign my name to $1 million contract. And the last time I talked to him, well, not the last time, but a few months ago, he told me, he said, brother, anything up under $1 million, you shouldn't have to call me on. But when you get to that $1 million contract and you may need my help, then call me on that. And when I tell you that this brother he's from St. Louis, but he's in Vegas. This brother is very sharp, a very good student. And he was working on a $1.9 billion deal as we speak. So, and this is a major, major deal in Las Vegas. So the stuff that we're talking about doing, that can easily be done. I mean,
well, that's good to know. That's good to know. We are overdue for our break. We have some callers on the board. I'm trying to get Sister Sisi acclimated to the new board. Sister Sisi, we need you to log back in. That's the way you control the board. Check that email I sent you. Callers, call back in. If you have a question or a comment for Sister Sisi or Brother Robert, you can give us a call at 866 510-9025. See, I'm still trying to learn the new number and program it into my own mind. So it's 866.
Well, you know, Scotty, I see the board. I can see who's on the board. But as far as like putting them on the call or whatever, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, all you had to do is hover over your name, see if you can mute and unmute yourself. But see, I'm not showing you in the room, so that's why.
You're not showing me in the room. I see me in the room.
I see you. I see you called in. I see you called in. I do not see you logged into the chat. There's a chat room, and once you log in, that's how the host can control the board. You were logged in at the beginning of the call, but you're not now. So.
Okay.
Let me continue.
Yeah, no, we need to learn later, so go ahead.
Yeah, let me continue. If you would like to join us in the chat, just go to uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio Network. You don't have to sign up for an account or anything. You just put your name in there and come right into the chat. You can also give us a call at 866-510-9025. You'll be muted on entry. Hit ** to signify that you have a question. And I will see you on the board, or Sisi will see you on the board. So, yeah, that's how it works. So we'll be back on the other side. You're listening to BIB Radio on the Black Talk Radio Network. Make Black Talk Radio your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
I have to go live on Facebook.
Okay, we are back. This is BIB Radio, and we are just, we're making it happen here. New technology. We don't shun it. We just have to learn it. But we are talking with Brother Robert and Scotty. We're talking about ways to preserve your business. We kind of segued off of that, and I'm going to bring us back on. Scotty was talking to Robert about being a consultant, and Robert was saying that he's just looking to get his bio up and his resume and just have some people that can say that, references, people that can say that they experienced the help from him and the program worked and that kind of thing. And, so that's where we were basically. Now, Scotty, tell everybody again, if they want to log on, what would they need to do? Go to Uber Conference and do what?
Uberconference.com/ Black Talk Radio Network. That's our business class conferencing system. Has a chat room. It's uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio Network. You can either sign in with your LinkedIn account. It may take Google Plus, or you could just simply type in a name where it say name and just log in, and it'll bring you into the chat room, and then you can send messages that way, and the host can control the boards.
Okay, so I am in the chat. Can you see me in the chat? I just messaged you and said I'm here but can't do anything. So I'm not really sure how this works on the phone, but again, we'll just have to test it out because I have signed up for my own account. So I have to test it out and see, what is with that.
I got to get that video out with Black Rose, who is the host of the Lotus Place, because I had 2 conferences on the weekend, webinars for people to come, but I guess people were kind of busy or they didn't see the email. But I have a video recording, and I'll send that out.
Okay, thank you. No, I did not see the video because I definitely needed to be on that informational because I'm just like, oh, Lord. I was just getting used to the other one, and we had that for a while. But, nevertheless, I am not going to allow it to ruin anything. We are doing fine. Again, it's technology. We have to learn it, and we are good. So, meanwhile, back to our program. Now, we need to talk about preservation. I mean, that's like a constant conversation. Preservation of our businesses, preservation of our children, preservation of the other people around us if we can do so concerning entrepreneurship. Earlier, Robert, you were talking about the children, well, the young adults, I should say, the young adults that you encountered while you were at the flea market. And I was saying I was thinking about the young adults myself, they tend to be thrown by the wayside. And because we get to see so many of them, it's quite obvious, And I think we become a culture and a society to where we kind of have said, well, it's not my business, And if we continue saying it's not my business, we will not have a generation of young people that know that they need to go forth in great expectations in life and entrepreneurship. Just today, I mean, one of the people that young adults that we have in our midst, I mean, I just really, was thinking about this person's situation, and I really think that we need to try to see what we can do for this person. And it's not like a humanitarian thing or a philanthropic. It's not that thing. It's just that this is one of our own that definitely needs something because something's missing, and you can totally tell, and I make it my business to engage with all of the young people. I don't care how young they are. They could be like 18 months, but I make sure that I make it my business to engage with them because so many of them, they just don't even have anybody talking to them. They have people talking at them, and they are people. So we need to make sure that we're doing what we need to do for our youth, for our young adults, so that they know that there is still great expectation of them, especially in entrepreneurship, because we see them struggling to try to get jobs, and they feel like they're part of this scenario where the United States is talking about the unemployment rate and all that. I really feel like that unemployment rate and all that stuff, they're talking about some other people. They're not really talking about us. I feel like, in a lot of situations, we're not even in the scenarios that we're talking about. So we have to make sure that outside of these job fairs and all that, stuff, we have entrepreneurial fairs, where these young adults and young children can start experiencing entrepreneurship at an early age.
Right.
And that's one way we preserve, we can preserve our businesses, because as you are teaching a young adult to do something in entrepreneurship, you have the opportunity to bring them on board with you so they can really have some on-the-job training. And statistics show that our people really do learn better. And the style is called kinesthetic tactile, learning by doing, with their hands versus what they have them doing in school, which is sitting and being still. So if we could bring them in and show them how to be entrepreneurs, versus how to go out and get a job, then I think that that's great. And I'm not saying anything crazy about jobs. People have jobs every day. I've had jobs myself, but they should always have the opportunity and the know-how to be an entrepreneur.
I have a question, Sister Sisi, on what you proposed there. So, what would be a good age to introduce children to entrepreneurship, and what are some of the exercises? Because right now, I do remember in front of when we lived in Detroit as a young child having a Kool-Aid stand. Is that a good way? And at what age to introduce children to entrepreneurship and then graduate them to more complex business concepts?
Well, Scotty, because my background is early childhood, I would say it's way before that. It begins when you are teaching your children to pick up their own toys. And I know for me, when my children were months, like 18 months old, they knew how to pick up their own toys. So what type of thing, what kind of programming can you put together for them to where that is their own business? Picking up their toys allows them to get money or something like that. I mean, I would say be creative, but it starts well before the Kool-Aid stand, because the first stages of understanding is hearing. The first stages of learning to talk is hearing. So they understand you way before they're able to talk with you. So if you're talking with them and you're explaining things to them when they're small, rewarding them, oh, good job, when they're picking up those books and putting them back on the shelf, really tiny children can do those things. I would say you just have to put together some sort of program for them to start them out as a little entrepreneur. That can be their business, picking up their toys. It sounds kind of silly, but at the same time, it doesn't, because you start them out there, you graduate them higher and higher. Pretty soon, I would say by age 2.5, they're in the kitchen with you cooking. So part of their business may be stirring soup or whatever it is that you're making, putting the tomatoes in the salad. You just have to gradually, do something more for them, but it starts very, very young.
It doesn't sound silly, but it sounds like a job versus entrepreneur.
Well, it does sound like a job, but again, it just depends on how you put the program together. Because if it is their business to put the books back on the shelf, you just have to put that together, because I'm not going to put the books back on the shelf. That is this person's responsibility, this little person's responsibility. So, I mean, that is where you're going to start them out, is responsibility. And again, you would segue it into, greater responsibilities later. I mean, it does sound like a job, but it's not. It's starting them out with the responsibility. This is what you have to do for this to happen. There's a cause and effect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It still sounds like a job and a chore, but I understand you laying the foundations for work. But in terms of the Kool-Aid stand, how I would do it is, okay, I would take my grandson to the store to purchase the Kool-Aid. How much do the Kool-Aid cost? How much do a bag of sugar cost? How many pitchers of Kool-Aid can we get out of this, and what are we going to sell it for? So to me, and then actually being out there in the community exchanging money for Kool-Aid. So to me, that is more of an entrepreneurial exercise for a child.
Right, and that's age appropriate for that child that you're talking about. But when we're talking very young, then, I mean,
you're teaching them responsibility
that
it's going to take to be an entrepreneur. Okay, yeah, I understand.
Right, you have to be creative, and that with your grandson, absolutely, because what you're doing is also teaching him math. You're teaching him reasoning. You're teaching him all kinds of things by making him an entrepreneur. And, people take that for granted because it's not just about that money that he's making. It's about the skills that he is possessing that is going to take him into his future exploration in entrepreneurship. Because again, okay, we start with the books, then we move on to the kitchen, then we move on to the Kool-Aid stand. Then after that, whatever comes next. I mentioned last week a 9-year-old that we have here in St. Louis. He has his own little snack company called Mikey's Munchies. Well, Mikey's Munchies didn't start out at Mikey's Munchies. He started out somewhere smaller than that. But we have to start them out somewhere. And again, in that, you're teaching them so many things in entrepreneurship. You're teaching them math. You're teaching them all kinds of stuff.
You know what I'm sitting here thinking? Okay, but I'm not going to do this, but I was sitting here thinking, okay, teach him that when other little kids come over, they got to give you a nickel to rent your toys, and then they got to return them when they leave.
Right. Well, nothing wrong with that. I mean, there is nothing wrong. See, there's nothing unethical about making money, unless it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Because you're teaching him. You're teaching him to think for himself. You're teaching him to think outside the box. I mean, who else would think about, doing anything as far as currency exchange with their toys, I think that's a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially, they see you working from home. They see you as an entrepreneur. So because they see you as an entrepreneur, they should get to also experience that. I'm pretty sure I never heard them on the radio before, but I'm pretty sure you put the headset on them and let them do little things, but they should always have something in front of them as far as entrepreneurship. So if it's about the toys, then it's about the toys.
They've been on air from time to time, but it wasn't intentional or anything. They do
okay.
grab hold of the microphone or talk into it. It's just normally when I'm not doing a radio program, but they do that. And both of them definitely are computer literate, know how to use tablets, computers, devices. But I mean, I started their mothers off early on how to type on a computer. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are typing skills that you need in entrepreneurship or to get a job. It can help you.
Absolutely. And, that kind of takes us into the situation with homeschool. And it's so funny how people really, really fear homeschool, but it's because we have been boxed into this idea of what, quote, schooling is, but you are actually schooling them every minute of the day that you were with them. You're schooling. It may be bad schooling, like you might be on the phone gossiping or something like that, but either way, you're schooling them. But if you have them there with you and they see you on the radio and they see you producing programs and they see you creating websites, you're teaching them entrepreneurship. And we always have to keep that in mind. Children, no matter how old they are sponges and they absorb whatever we are putting out. The bad thing about that is that, when they get older, they're absorbing all these other things in the environment. But as parents, they're always watching our every move. It's kind of creepy because you don't think that, because they start developing their own personalities, but they're always watching us. So we always have to have business in front of us. They always need to see us doing business. I know when I'm in my car and I'm driving and my children hear me doing business, they're impressed. They're very impressed. They're like, wow, how did you just do that? Sometimes I don't know myself, but I'm like, yeah, well, that's what you have to do. When you get on the phone and, people want your time, you just have, and you just talk them through whatever it is that you're doing, but they always need to see you doing business so that they know that this is okay. It's okay for them to do business. It's okay for them to be doing things a different way other than what their friends are doing.
The caller,
listen to
the caller that just called in. If you have a question or comment, like to chime in the discussion, hit ** on your phone keypad. Please continue.
Oh, we were listening to, like Robert said, we were listening to Cortez this morning because he has such inspirational business tips that he has every day. He had a young person on there today, and I was inspired by the information that he was given. He said he started out at school selling candy, and he would actually go and stand by the vending machine and tell people, here, no, buy my candy, and then he initiated help from other people in the school. Like he had little workers in the school. So I found that quite interesting. But it's amazing how their minds will start working once we spark that interest. They have to know that it's okay to think, because so many times they're told it's not okay to think. They're told to shut up, sit down, be quiet, or whatever. But when you open that door and allow them to think, boy, you'd be surprised what they could do in your business. It's amazing. Robert, are you there?
Hey, I'm just listening. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here with a smile on my face, just listening to you guys.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
Like the Godfather.
Like what?
Like the Godfather, just paying attention to what's going on. I'm gonna say this in reference to, you said that the earliest part of teaching entrepreneurship to a child, you educate a child from the time of conception in the womb. Your thoughts, your desires, and those type of things mold the personality of that child. And so when I was with my first wife, and at that time things appeared to be, good with us, and it was on my mind, and I was telling her, that she needed to be in a calm environment. She was carrying, our child, that her thoughts needed to be that supported the ideal of my vision, because she was carrying our child. At that time, her will was to have a business. At least that's what it was said to me at the time. She wanted to be in business with me, and so as a woman, you really impregnate that child's mind, because your thoughts, your energy, your pain is the first experience that child has with a human being. You see, so if that woman, her environment is outside of that is a producing environment, a creating environment, then that child may not be the child that will come out and be the leader of the community, the leader in entrepreneurship or society, because, I look at my mother. Now, my mother had me and my brother at an early age. I know we couldn't have been no more than about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old. She took us out to sell World Book encyclopedias, going door to door. Now, when I think about that, I got to go back to when she was pregnant with us. What was on her mind? She wanted to be a beautician. All my life, all I ever know of my mother is that she wanted to be a beautician. Now, just a few years ago, she actually completed cosmetology school and got her beautician's license. I'm talking about literally within the last 2 years. So I look at me, my brother, and my sister. My sister has just finished up on her first book. She has an outreach ministries program in Delaware. She's the mother of 4. She's when I say a strong sister, she's a strong sister for real. My brother, very sharp guy in real estate as well. very knowledgeable about how that game goes down on the opposite side of how I do real estate. But he's a very sharp person. Myself, 22 years of not working for the Caucasian, at least 10 buildings to my name, never going to the bank to deal with the banks or anything like that. So it had to be something that was in her thought, in her thinking, that produced 3 people out of her womb that has gone out into this world and accomplished things that all 3 of us have done. And I know me and my brother, we don't have no formal education in terms of college degrees, master's degrees, none of that kind of stuff. I certainly don't have it. So the thinking process of the woman is, I think, while she's impregnated with the child, has a lot to do with the direction that child's life is going to go in.
Okay. Well, if we're going off of that scenario, my mother had 5 children. She was not an entrepreneur, and I'm the only one out of the 5 that are. So maybe when she was pregnant with me, she was thinking about opening her own business. She always talked about opening her own business, and she had these ideas which my siblings thought was crazy, but I always told her, hey, okay, we'll do it. When she was right here in St. Louis, she had the idea to open some kind of figurine store because this woman could collect everything. I mean, she lived in a 1-bedroom house, and she had stuff from when I was in the 3rd grade, but she wanted to be some sort of like museum for old figurines, So I know at some point in time, it's time for a break, everybody. You're listening to BIB Radio on Black Talk Radio Network. We'll be back with you after these messages.
Okay.
Black Talk Radio since 2008, providing new black media for the masses.
Righty, everybody, we are back. Welcome back to BIB Radio. We are on the Black Talk Radio Network. We are using our new system, which is Uber Conference. So if you would like to join us on Uber Conference, all you have to do is, let's see, do I have it here? Don't tell me, Scotty. Hold on, I got it right here. Let me scroll back a little bit.
How you know me? You know me, don't you?
I know you're ready. Like, all you have to do is, Uber Conference. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, now my thing won't even let me go backwards. But yeah, it's Uber Conference, and then they type in Black Talk Radio Network, right?
Yeah, uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio Network, or by phone at 866-510-9025. If you have a question or comment, hit star to unmute yourself.
Right, and let's just make sure we don't have to change this platform anytime soon, because I'm telling you, I was still jacked up on the other one, but I was getting it. So now we got to just kind of get this.
But don't you think this one's better? Don't you think this better and provides more opportunities to interact with listeners?
It is better, and I trust you as the expert because I know you know what you're doing as far as these things are concerned, and I just have to get out of my mind and the blockages that come, immediately when I have to learn something new concerning, the internet, just things on the internet. Now, I can do Facebook fine, I can do Twitter fine, and those kind of things. But when it comes to technical things, just having to learn them right away, it kind of freaks me out sometimes. So I just have to spend some time with it. You know, I do have an app on my phone, and I'm sure the app on the phone is a little bit different than using the laptop. So I have to look at both of those and kind of compare and contrast and just, you know, see which one is going to work best for me. But yes, you all, we are working it out here on BIB Radio. I am a radio station owner in the making, so be patient with me. I'm putting it out there right now. Absolutely. I'm going to overcome.
Wait a minute, hold up. I think you should say we are going to own a radio station, and we're gonna tie it in with Scotty's station. As he said, we can live stream to his station. But we definitely want to own a station. And for those people that are listening, Black Talk Radio Network, Scotty Reed, the CEO of Black Talk Radio Network, is inviting you to learn how to become a internet radio station owner. So you can go to BIB Radio, and Scotty, you can plug yourself. We're Facebook Live, and we have this on our format on BTR Radio. So, Scotty, if you want to give them the information to reach out to you.
Yeah, I will point them, Brother Robert. I appreciate that. I will point them to the interview I did on BIB Radio last, where I got to speak for like almost an hour. I know I was putting Sisi to sleep. She was like, hurry up and get off the phone so I can go to sleep. Because I'm just joking. We was in overtime. We did go over, like 30 minutes.
A whole lot.
Yes.
But when you own it, you can do that, right?
Right,
okay.
right.
I mean,
right.
Yeah,
so they could find the
fine.
information for business services, like leasing radio streams, so that you can own a station. And as a nonprofit, we help you. Most other places, you can just go lease a radio stream. They're not going to teach you how to run it, how to operate it, how to do anything. They figure you already know how to do that. But when we were founded as a nonprofit, I knew that a lot of people don't know how to do this, so I'm going to make videos, tutorials, whatever I had to do to show other people how simple it is once you get acclimated to the technology. So go to blacktalkmediaproject.org. If you know anything about IceCast or Shoutcast streams and you're looking for affordable services, or if you want to learn, just reach out to me. We have our contact information at blacktalkmediaproject.org, which is our North Carolina-based nonprofits website. All right. Thank you, Brother Robert, for that plug.
Okay. Thank you, Scotty. Now, let me get back to what I was saying concerning, let me back up a whole bunch of times because as I was saying, I am going to be a radio station owner before I was interrupted. and yes, I am overcoming some of my anxieties as everyone else should be doing concerning business. Because if you don't do that, you can't move forward. If you have some things that freak you out for whatever reason, go ahead and face that thing. I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins today, and he said, everybody experiences fear. He said, when I'm in fear and I'm getting in my car, I put fear in the trunk and I keep it moving. And that's an absolutely wonderful way to think about it, because you could pretend all you want that you don't have fear, but you do, because a lot of times that is what puts barriers on your life. So as I learned the new social media and our new platform, when I give myself plenty of time, I will be just fine. So by next week, I plan on having this thing down. Between the laptop and the phone and the iPad, I will have this thing down. So I'll be all right. Now back to my little story with my mom concerning Robert's theory concerning entrepreneurship and the mother thinking about business in the womb. Like I was saying, I have 4 other siblings. None of them are entrepreneurs. I'm the only one. And so maybe she was thinking of business when she was having me or carrying me. I know that she was interested in business before she passed away. For some reason, she just couldn't break out of the hamster wheel, break off the hamster wheel, and get her own thing going. You know, a lot of people have that issue, and that was my mother. You know, but I would like to think, concerning Robert's philosophy, that when she was pregnant with me, she was thinking about business. Because I'll tell you, I can't stand working a job. You know, that's just not my thing. So, yeah, I mean, and then I think about my own children. All of them are entrepreneurs, with the exception of my oldest. He's working toward entrepreneurship, but he works like 3 jobs. But the other 3, they are entrepreneurs. So maybe there's something to that, Brother Robert.
Well, I know for sure. I just believe that just is really, really real. The reason why that was a reality for me, because there was a lecture series by Minister Farrakhan that I heard called How to Give Birth to a God. I bought that lecture series simply because of the name of the lecture series, How to Give Birth to a God. And for me, that was intriguing enough, because I knew that I wanted to have children, but what kind of children should you desire to have? Godly children, of course, and those children who can excel in this here life. So when I got that lecture series and he went into creating the environment, she should not work. She should not go to any funerals. I mean, she should be at peace. It was so many valuable points that he made in that lecture series dealing with the process of birth that could create.
So essentially, she should be on vacation the whole 40 weeks. I mean, you just need to ship her off to the Bahamas so that she could be at ease. That's what I think.
Oh, well, maybe if you got that kind of money, yeah. I mean, you can do that. But if you ain't got that kind of money, then you do the Bahamas in the comfort of your home. You first of all, you got to have the right mate. I mean, we marry for all the wrong reasons. First of all, we look at a woman or a man, and we look at their physical attributes, and that is the basis of why we with that person. And then we find out all the other reasons why. Damn, I didn't know this, but it's too late. You done already committed yourself, to this person. So I mean, you got to do your homework about the person that you with before you even get that tied. That's why courtship is important. Courtship without sex is important. And I'm saying that, and it's not like
I don't know. We kind of segueing into some other stuff.
It's all real though. It's all valid.
Yeah, it's absolutely valid. Okay.
And especially with what we're talking about. I mean, you just have to in order to have a good outcome. If the two of you all are firmly planted in the same ideal, then and the same desires, then oftentimes you're going to pull through and you're going to produce great children for the most part, I believe. I'm blessed to have my son. My daughter just got on board, come down working, but I'm a monitor how that goes. But to have my son, 100% on board with me is a blessing. And like I said earlier, one of my partners who just came down to the market today, who we go back 25 years. He remember my children when they were fresh out of the womb, and he hugged me today. He said, "Man, I'm proud of you, Robert." He said, "I know the fight that you had trying to take care of them children, what you had to go through, and to see them down here with you." He didn't know that this was Naima's first day, but for him to see my children down there doing what I love to do, that's a blessing. So that maybe that has something to do with this late blooming of entrepreneurship coming out of my children, because of the foundation that we planted, following those videos and those instructions that were given to us by the minister through the video. However, you have to have the proper mate and to make that thing work. I mean, you just really do, because if y'all split, then one wants to go back to the job, the other is an entrepreneur. Well, just like it happened to me, my ex-wife at that time, she started taking my children to the job fairs. Now you can imagine how that made me feel, because I'm an entrepreneur. I don't want my children no way, no how going to job fairs. That's not the course that I wanted them on. So it's very relevant to know your mate well enough and have the same desires, so that if a divide happens, then at least you can be on one accord when it comes to the direction that you want your children to go into. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, it seems we've kind of gone into a different direction, but okay. So my thought is, with that whole experience, talking about the other parent and taking the children to job fairs and that sort of thing. I have a question now. When you gave us the information about the wife being in, a very calm and peaceful environment, were you able to provide that when your wife was pregnant?
You saying, was I able? Yes, I was able to provide that.
Okay. So with that being said, did the child turn out to want to be an entrepreneur?
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Sisi.
I said, did the child want to be an entrepreneur?
Well, at the time, no, because...
Well, wait. I already know the answer, but no, that's not the way it was supposed to go. I remember you telling me that this particular child had her own booth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, God. You ruined it. No, it's okay. So tell us, that child had her own booth somewhere doing something. What was it?
Well, I started out with my oldest daughter at the age of she was about 3.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the host of our at our booth at the flea market. She would invite the people in, greet the people, hi, welcome to fresh and clean, and that was her job at 3 years old, and she was a natural at it. I mean, she really made it where it just was a beautiful thing to see this little 3-year-old girl holding her little sign and saying, hi, welcome to fresh and clean, and come on in. So, and that was a product. She was a product of her mother and her father, because at that time we were in sync on what we wanted for that child.
Okay. So it does work.
No doubt.
There you go. So, and my thought is, concerning relationships, and we see it all the time, whether the person is an entrepreneur or not, whether the person goes to church or not, a lot of times we compromise who and what we are to please that other person. So let's just say you guys were in sync about becoming business owners, and then later on the other person changed, but maybe they only decided to do that because they wanted to be pleasing. They didn't really feel that within themselves. So then after you weren't together again, it kind of became something rebellious. So they're like, oh, let me leave that over there. Although it may have still benefited their life, even though you weren't together. They said, let's just leave this over there because that thought reminds me of him or whatever. So then they went back over to the left field, and then that breeds confusion for the children, of course, because at first we were doing this, we were together, now we're in two separate households, mom's doing this over here, and dad's doing this over here. Sometimes it could be a benefit to the children because they'll understand, both sides of it and do what they need to do, but a lot of times it just breeds confusion.
Yeah, I would agree.
I have the same situation like my daughter. My daughter lives with her dad, and she's used to doing things with me and being able to make money for herself. Well, her dad does not want her to work or do anything as concerning earning money. So I myself have to be creative, and I think I just told you this the other day. What I'm going to do is get products for her to actually she'll market it herself on social media, and as sales come in, all she has to do is set up online, the shipping arrangements, because you can do all that. And all she has to do is prepare for the postman. We have to be creative in those situations. But that just, it kind of goes along with our old show. We talked about, being in relationships with people who are not entrepreneurs or whatever. It can just be a big mess. It really can be a big mess, because when you're understanding or you're not on one accord with raising the children, it could just be something not favorable at all. And the people who suffer the most would be the children.
Right. I agree.
Mhm. Well, you guys, we have just totally gone here and thither and other, and we've gone all over the place with this topic. But, it's still the same thing. How are you preparing yourself, setting yourself up in your business for things to happen? We talked about in the beginning how, leasing a building is not the same as owning a building. You definitely want to set yourself up to be the owner so that you don't have to worry about somebody not wanting to renew your lease. Or in something manufacturing, or in a product that you have, you want to manufacture your own product because you want to make sure that you always have that available to you. But if someone else controls that, they can suddenly stop the production, or they can stop selling to you, or, something can happen if you are not an owner. So ultimately your goal is to always climb higher and higher and be, the boss of that situation. For instance, you may start out in a job and your goal is to be an entrepreneur. So I know I've done this myself. Like, I have taken a job so that I can gain the experience to do that thing later on my own. And I've done that, a couple times. But your goal is to always be the owner of the whole thing. So nobody can kick you out or tell you that, you're not good enough, or you're fired, or they don't want to sell to you, And a lot of us have experienced that, because even as I look on Facebook, I see people really going through some things. And it's because they're not the owners, whether it be they're working on a job or they're renting something or something like that, but they're not the owners. So our goal should always be ownership in whatever it is that we're doing.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
always
and another
own
thing, right, always own it. And another thing we have is having full string to come, because that's a crucial area in entrepreneurship. You definitely want to have more than one thing going on. One thing should not be, you could have something being the main thing, I guess, but you should always have more than one thing going on. And for me, that's actually exciting. If you can make sure that your streams of income are plentiful, you won't ever have to worry about drought in your income. we have to make sure that we set ourselves up for that type of situation. How many streams of income is it said that we should have?
There's no set limit. I mean, as many as you could manage. I've never heard of a particular number for that. I mean, it probably is, but it's just.
Well, I remember when I used to listen to like T.D. Jakes a long time ago. I think he said something about 7 streams of income, but there are experts out there that say that you should have a certain amount of streams of income. But then again, when you talk about streams of income, you have to make sure that you have the proper people helping manage all those things. Very important.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of line income, of course, because I don't know.
Phone sounding real crazy right now. Sisi?
Okay, I'm not sure. Can you hear me now?
Hear you much better.
Okay. I'm not here in the window.
Yeah, your audio is breaking up real bad.
It's breaking up? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's like you're probably on a cell phone and the signals sometimes have interference, but please continue.
Okay. So basically, concerning the streams of income, there are several things we look to kind of look into the different streams. Like there's what are the 7 income streams for millionaires? And again, what we're talking about is, preparing business for hard times, because hard times are coming. But I tend to think that entrepreneurs are not going to have as hard a time as people who are working on the job, because job is a whole different type of dependency than being an entrepreneur. But again, you should have multiple stream income. So this is, there are 2 legal ways. I don't want to get into too much of it. I'm going to bring a minute. There are 2 legal ways to take enormous money. Of course.
Hey, Sister Cece, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's as you continue to read, it's really coming out as garbled. So why don't we do this? Why don't Robert take over while you hang up and dial back in? So that's 866-510-9025. Sometimes you can reestablish a connection, because I used to work in the cell phone industry, so that sometimes it cleared up.
Okay, so that's what.
Okay, try to establish another. Okay, Robert.
Yes, sir.
The floor is yours.
Scotty, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good. Yeah, so while she dials back in, we're just gonna, we just recap, and I'll give the people just what we've been talking about, and we just talking about why you should you should own that real estate. You should own the building that you're in.
Yeah, I can rescue you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. She's back on the line. Yeah, I hear you now.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll have our line together next week. Okay, so we were talking about 7 income streams, okay, of millionaires. And so create something innovative and sell it. You have to be good at both. It can be anything, writing, digital solutions, and products. 2, investing and selling. Let's say stock startup. But again, you have to be talented and investing, and also to be lucky sometimes. Millionaires have both of these things working for them. Whatever they get from first, they invest in second and keep it growing for them. Let's see here. But that's a little information. But again, you all should hold on to it. Okay, it says, but I warn you to read the end where I reveal the single biggest secret to actually becoming a millionaire. This is just somebody's opinion, but read it. It says, earn income. Monday you earn doing something for, example, the money that you make in your job, the salary you get by working for someone else. 2, profit. Money that you by selling something for more than it costs you to make. For example, businesses sell their business at a profit, whether as the retail. In fact, that's what we're talking about before. You need basically the distributor or manufacturer, the manufacturer. 3, money you get as all lending to sell you. For example, lending to government and the force.
The audio
you can't hear.
Still muffled.
Still can't hear.
The audio was sounding really, really muffled, and it really sounds really bad. So
what is like now?
You could try calling in from your laptop if you have headsets or something you could plug into your laptop. You could try that way. You can call in that way from your laptop if your cell phone's acting up.
So what you do, you just head and
yeah, you're coming in really bad. But if you jack in your headsets as if you were going to use Skype or any other communications program, and then just go to uberconference.com/Black Talk Radio Network, and it'll give you an option to call in with your computer. So that's the only alternative. I thought reestablishing your line would do it, but no, I'm sure it's the cellular tower could be having a lot of traffic, and therefore, that's why you're coming in like you are. It's the best way I can explain it, because Robert doesn't sound that way. He's in the same location. I don't know if he's on different service.
Robert's on a landline on his cell phone.
Oh, there you go, right there.
It's a web video conference phone number. So I dial into the box.
Yeah, we hear you, Sisi, but it's really bad.
Okay. Well, let's continue, because I'm going
okay.
to try this.
Okay.
Why don't you try to reposition yourself and just
yeah, let's go to a station identification break. And I think y'all in the same location. And Robert, you could try to communicate, and I'll give her time to also get her headsets or something. But yeah, Sisi, we can't hear you at all. So we're going to take a station identification break and try to get her communication system better established. You're listening to BIB Radio on the Black Talk Radio Network. We will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
The Black Talk Media Project funds the use of new media technology in efforts to restore independent Black voices to the myriad of issues affecting Afro-descendant people all over the planet. If media can control the minds of the masses, as Malcolm X once said, then you must ask yourself, who is in control of the media targeting the masses of Black people today? Help bring back independence, self-determination, and respect for Black culture in the production of global media by joining the effort to crowdfund new Black media for the new millennium. Visit blacktalkmediaproject.org for more information on how you can invest in public Black radio for the masses.
Okay, we are back. Robert, you there?
Yes, sir, Brother Scotty, I'm here.
Okay, great. I don't know what it's doing with her line, and cause it wouldn't even let me hang up on her. So, but I do see she in the chat or some way, or maybe she's getting her laptop. But Robert, please continue. Do you know anything about what she was trying to read to us?
No, I don't have that information that she was trying to read at all at my disposal. But let me ask you, Scotty, is this we at the? I don't have a clock around me. At the last half hour of the show?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. All right, well, no. But as a recap, I mean, we can get ready to close the show out anyway. That's what this last 30 minutes would be. Just as a recap, going over a few things that we discussed. One of the things in having a business, how do you secure longevity for your business? And the main thing that I believe is the acquisition of the real estate would be definitely the way to go. The mixed-use property, to lower your overhead, and have both entities in one building has worked for me for years. The other thing is whatever industry you're in, have the correct information as it pertains to the industry leaders, have the connections with those individuals, go to the trade shows, invest in your company, because most times people open businesses, black people open businesses, and they don't go no further than to their local wholesaler, which is ridiculously higher than the manufacturer's cost. I just went to, yesterday to try to buy some Clorox bleach wholesale from a local
Hold on. Can you hear me, Robert?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm still on the phone, but I'm calling in through Uber conference call. So, on the computer. So.
We hear you much better.
No. I'm talking on the phone now, but I'm saying on the computer. I'm calling in through the computer. So I'm not sure what happens then, because it's just ringing and ringing.
I think you can just hang up that phone if you are on your computer. But it looks like you're on the phone. You're not called in through the computer, but you do have a better connection, so you can continue with that last segment that you were doing.
Is so crazy. No, I can't, because I don't want to move from the place that I'm in, and that would require me to open up my phone and all that stuff, and I don't want to lose the signal. So again, I apologize, listening audience and podcasters, when you listen to this. I am learning this new system. By next week, we will have it together. I will be on the landline and not using the cell phone, and we will be able to utilize it from the computer or the landline. Anyway, so what I was talking about before was having multiple streams of income. So we specialize in that. If you all are interested and need help cultivating ideas about streaming different income streams, just contact us. Our email address is weareblacks@gmail.com. We are blacksinbusiness@gmail.com. We are happy to consult with you and talk with you about whatever your business needs are, whether you're just starting out or you need information on how to make proper connections concerning your logistical needs. If you do have those needs, we know that Scotty Reed, the CEO here on the line with us of Black Talk Radio Network, he can service your web needs. So just reach out to us if you have if you have some needs, and I know this is podcasted around and people listen at different times. So just know we're an information show, and we're happy to help you with that. So listen to us here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on our new Uber conference call. This is just making me laugh. But yes, so the 7 streams of income, different streams of income, I should say. It could just be, it could be the most, it could be a small thing to start you out. For instance, I was just talking about my daughter. Her dad does not want her to do any type of work. So what I'm going to do is send her product, because we get a lot of different things at a wholesale price. I'm going to send them to her. Maybe a little expensive to me, but I want her to be able to keep her entrepreneurial spirit alive. She'll get those products, and then she'll go online in different places that she could market these products. Facebook has a store, Shopify has a store, OfferUp is a store, Let It Go is a store. There are many different places that she can market her products, and all she has to do is prepare them with a label and send them out. She'll market them to people. Somebody will say that they want them, and then she will just simply send them out. She doesn't have to go anywhere or do anything outside of her home. That way she can collect income on her own. And, there are several different payment systems that you can set up for that. You can simply have people pay you through PayPal. You also have Square. You can run their card right from your mobile device. So that's one stream of income. Some people are skilled with making jewelry. I'm running into a whole lot of jewelry makers, which I didn't know many people made jewelry like that, but there are a lot of people making jewelry for profit. Same thing. If you make jewelry, you could post the jewelry online, and people want to purchase it from you. You can send it out to them, or you can agree to, if they're local, agree to meet up with them at your local Krispy Kreme or Starbucks or whatever, and you can make the sale there. Let's see here. That was two things that kind of seem like they might be for women. So let's think about men. Okay, so men, I know that there is a video out there, YouTube video, showing how you can actually repair dents, or not dents, dings in people's windshields. There's a solution that you can whip together right at home that fixes people's windshield. Now, you could set up a little tent, and you can advertise. I've seen people do this, advertise that you can fix people's dings, and you can charge for that. Robert, what do you think? What is another little quick thing somebody could do, as a man to start a stream of income?
Well, it's a lot that you can do. Really, it's a guy that come around my building here and cleans up, and he's here. He takes the trash out for me. He's here all of 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops, and he's making anywhere from $5 to $10 in that short period of time. You just got to put your pride aside. You can't be walking with false pride. As you just said, repairing windshields. A lot of people they can't fathom, their mind can't fathom them actually doing something like that. Everything that we do is a numbers game. A numbers game. If you can make $5 in 5 minutes, then that's $60 an hour if you're making $1 a minute. And you're not going to a job making $60 an hour, especially if you have no training. You know what I'm saying? Even with training, most people are not making $60 an hour. So you have to look at things from a numbers perspective. What can I make in the shortest amount of time? What's my value? If I could do a job in 10 minutes and make $10, that's worth me doing that job. You see, so
right.
A broom and a dustpan can get a man paid. A broom and a dustpan can get you a good day's pay. I'm talking about you could possibly make $100 just going down the block, cleaning off storefronts with a broom and a dustpan. People probably thought it was a crazy idea to clean windows. Now they got window cleaning companies.
Right.
Business windows. And I used to have a guy that come and do my windows. He charged me $10 to wash my windows. He was there less than 10 minutes washing my windows.
Wow.
So it's a numbers game. That's what you have to literally see is the numbers, the amount of money, and the amount of time that it takes to get that number. You see?
Right, and another thing, I was just thinking, I mean, when you say that, because, people do think of certain things as menial, when they're used to sitting behind a desk and drinking coffee and, just in a cushy little situation. But there are so many things that people could do, and that's actually your opportunity because there are other people that think like you. They think that it's menial. That's opportunity. Like, we watched, what did we watch? The Prophet the other day, where all that opportunity was over there in Cuba, because there are people doing jobs, taking on some responsibility that other people are not really wanting to take on. So when you think like that, the opportunities are endless. I was thinking like, okay, let's say you have a corporate office. How many people in that corporate office don't have time to vacuum their cars out? Like, what if you opened a business advertising to them that you could vacuum their cars out, on the lunch break or something like that? You could have a little business vacuuming out cars. What is it that your creative mind can come up with to create a business, a hustle, a stream of income,
I have something to add to streams.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you finish your thought, but I didn't know if you saw my message in the chat, but I have something to add. A different perspective on creating multiple streams, because when you talk to me about streams, see, I'm hearing internet streaming, I'm hearing a radio streaming, I'm hearing streams. But
Right.
Finish your thought.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I don't know. I was just talking about the car business, vacuuming out people's cars.
Right.
Because I know myself. I don't really have time. Well, I don't like vacuuming my car. Let me just be real. I don't like doing that. That's just not what I like to do. So how many people are like me? Basically you are meeting a need. So what need is out there that you can meet? What is it that people don't like to do? And then you could expand that some kind of way into, just a full-on detail. You could have a detail shop.
Let me share with you that where black people, and I'm talking black people specifically because other people in other countries are involved in it, and you hear about those other countries, but it's in a negative light all the time. But in the 1990s, I had filed a tax return, and I think I filed a 1099 or something. I had a job. I actually had a job, but I did not know anything about taxes. And so I had made some money on the internet for the year, maybe about $300 doing affiliate marketing other people's products by just simply posting links that have code in it that if somebody buy it, it affiliates that purchase with me, and therefore I get a commission. Affiliate marketing been around since it's old, not long after the internet popped off. So this tax preparer, this white lady who was doing my taxes here in Mount Holly, I think it was H&R Block, she was like, I'm glad somebody figured out how to make some money off the internet. So this woman sitting there doing everybody taxes in our little town in that area who go there and whatnot, and nobody was bringing in, showing revenue streams from the internet. So I had done this in the 90s, and not to say that I became an internet millionaire or anything like that, but people really did during that time period become internet millionaires almost overnight. That's why it was called the .com or the tech bubble back then, and what have you. But I identified how to make money on the internet. Then I found many other ways, marketing my own services and website designing and all of that kind of stuff. And but then, like, a lot of people use social media now, and then also affiliate marketing. Let me not get ahead of myself. This is before you had Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, just name, you got so many different social media platforms out there. Well, those are perfect places. If you can create a page that's popular and get a lot of traffic, those are perfect ground for marketing other people's products and affiliates. You can do either I'll sell you, the ad time, whatever, like we do audio ads on the station. All right. That's one revenue stream. Audio ads, 5,000 listens, $10 per 1,000, $50 for a media buy. Okay, $50 minimum. So, but then also that's an audio stream. That's a literal digital audio stream. But then what about my Twitter streams and the other stuff? And they get real popular and what have you. Well, I could then say, hey, I'll get you 5,000 views on my Facebook page or my Twitter account or whatever social media, all of it combined. I will put your ad, your video or whatever in front of 5,000 people for $10 an hour. Well, I'm just throwing out there an arbitrary rate. Okay, so that's another revenue stream right there. So then, like, people have these popular and a lot of black people do not get involved in affiliate marketing the way white people do. They make, I probably would say, getting 90 to 95, if not 98% of all the revenue being generated on the internet through just promoting other people's products through your media properties. And so like, for example, they're not active right now, but I've been sitting on them for a couple of years. I got Twitter accounts for all 50 states. And on these Twitter accounts, I got them plugged in. I got, without sounding too technical, these Twitter's accounts send out tweets related to job searches in those states. Remember, I said it was 50 of them, right? 50 states. So I set up a feed that would automatically feed the postings from like monster.com, these job posting websites and whatnot. They have feeds that I can grab and then send out every posting over Twitter. So I set it up for each 50 states. Now, I've been sitting on those for about 3 or 4 years. I don't even tweet from them. They're automated. Now, I can get a purchase or rent, basically subscribe to a service that allow me to manage that many Twitter accounts. Now I can start out. I've been sitting on them for years. Let's say I go look at them, and each one, let's say over 2 years, 3 years, have 10,000 followers. Okay, now I got 10,000 subscribers on each of these. That's 50,000 right there. So then that's an audience of 50,000 people that I could either mark other people's products to through affiliate marketing, where I'm gonna get a commission, or I could sell my own ads. So I don't see a lot of black people involved in. I see people with popular pages. I see people with websites that get a lot of traffic and what have you. And yeah, Google ads, that's a stream. But you can also make money outside of the Google ads by whatever you charge for a banner. Some people will pay a lot for a banner, pay more than they should. So when I hear streams, though, in today's modern technology world, the way they say everybody's so connected, I'm talking that how can I monetize these streams? And see, I'm doing this from a nonprofit perspective to make sure if we don't have a single dime coming in, there's some sort of revenue that's going to sustain our media operations, and that's why we offer business services as well. Okay, you need website design. Right. You want to own a state. Those are all streams. So I hope that what I shared with you was constructive and somebody could use it and get a bigger picture of viewing technology in social media streams as sources of revenue, turning them into sources of revenue.
Absolutely. That is very helpful because myself, I've been looking into affiliate marketing for a little while now. And when you go on these different blog pages or information pages, you will see that people have affiliate marketing programs. And so if you don't really know what that is, then you don't really know how to put it together. So that's good information that you're given, because I know myself, I'm interested in making money on the internet without really having to do a whole lot. You know, with the affiliate program, you don't really have to do a whole lot. You really don't.
So what I'll do, Sister Sisi, as I'll send out an email blast to all the media partners of Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project, all our donors, because I send out emails and stuff that they only get, like our stat reports and stuff like that and other stuff. But I'll send that out. I'll send out some affiliate. The one I first made some money with in 1990s, I'm still using them. You know, I'm going back to using them now that I have a lot of traffic on different social media sites accounts I've set up over the years. So I'll send that out. Look for that email.
Okay. I will look for that email. And just to let you know, I have figured it out. I am on the computer, because I accidentally muted you when you were talking. But I figured it out. But the thing is, for some reason, I don't hear any audio through my computer. So I don't know if there's an issue with the sound. It says that my computer is turned up.
We'll work it out this weekend. We'll work it out.
Right. But I'm in the system now, so I do understand, like, when we have callers, how to do this. I'm good. But yeah, so this has been very good information for our listeners today, as we are providing entrepreneurial information for everybody. You know, again, you should be prepared. How will you prepare your business for different situations that may come up? You know, you need to own the business. That was our foundation of this show. We kind of went into many different areas, but I'm sure we have helped somebody tonight on this program. Robert, do you have any last words for the listeners?
Yes, just get yourself, jump out there, take the leap of faith, and don't make all those big extravagant plans, and just do it. Just do it. Just go for it. Start from where you at, and you're gonna make mistakes. Embrace your mistakes and be wise and learn from them. And go back at it again. Right.
That's good advice. And we're all still learning. So, you know, you hear me on here bumbling around with the social media and the internet and all that stuff. I'm not really embarrassed about that, you know, because I know that I am looking forward to taking the next steps and getting over, you know, any fear and anxiety that I may have that will be a detriment to my entrepreneurial plight. So you all should do the same thing. Feel free to email us about your fears, email us about any show ideas you might want to have. You know, we're here every week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you'd like to listen, you could go to Uber Conference, www.uberconference.com /Black Talk Radio Network. Listen to us here every week. Or you can also go to blacktalkradionetwork.com. I still believe you can do that. Every week, listen to us, and the podcasts are there available. Listen to all of our old shows. Feel free to just reach out to us and let us know what you think. Give us some comments. Again, we appreciate you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week, where we will have it all together again. You're listening to BIB Radio with Sisi and Brother Robert Elevenx Minor. Good night, everybody.